All right, welcome to a deep dive into Spanish articles. You're ready to really nail down those indefinite articles, like uno, uno, unos, unos. And I've got a stack of materials here from this awesome YouTube channel called Jaime Lara Español. And I think you're going to love this guy. He's super energetic, and he keeps promising that you're going to get 100% on everything. So you ready to grab a pencil and paper?
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds like a fun way to learn a language.
It is. He's got this format where he presents a bunch of exercises, and then he wants you to pause the video and try them out, and then he'll go through all the answers. So we're going to follow that same kind of format to make this deep dive nice and interactive for you.
I like that a lot. It really does make you think and participate.
Yeah.
Instead of just passively listening.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so first up is just filling in the blanks with the correct indefinite article. Sounds pretty easy. But here's where it gets interesting. He gives you the phrase, una de mis casas, one of my houses. And, casas is plural. But we use una because we're only talking about one of the houses. Being sold...
Oh, I see. That's a good point. So we really have to pay attention to both the gender and the number of the noun in Spanish.
Right, okay. And how about another example? Un pequeño pueblo, a small town.
Okay, so there we have one, because pueblo is masculine and singular.
Exactly. Okay, so then Jaime gets into these exercises where you have to choose between the definite and the indefinite article. And sometimes that can be a little tricky. So here's an example. Una de tus vecinas, one of your neighbors. So that's introducing a neighbor. But then he switches to el coche, the car.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
So it seems like the indefinite article is for introducing something new. And then the definite article is for something that's already been mentioned or is specific.
You got it. That's exactly it. It's like the articles are giving us clues as we go through the conversation. So here's another example. La madre de Juan, Juan's mother.
Oh, I see. Because we're talking about a specific mother, Juan's mother.
Exactly. So how do we keep all these rules straight?
Well, I think the key is to really understand the logic behind them. We've already touched on a few of them. New information versus specific things.
Yeah.
And matching articles with gender and number. But really, it's also just practice. The more you practice, the more it'll become second nature.
Yeah, you'll just start to get a feel for it. Okay, so are you ready for some more of Jaime's exercises?
Yeah, bring them on. I'm starting to feel like a Spanish article expert.
Okay, well, let's see if we can stump you. Let's see what Jaime throws at us next.
All right, more exercises. What do we got?
Okay, this one caught my eye. Ahí hay policías en la puerta del vecino. Algo habrá pasado. There are some police at the neighbor's door. Something must have happened. And the answer is unos.
Unos.
Oh, wait.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's like saying some police, an unspecified number.
Right.
That's interesting because we have, unos and unas, and then we also have algunos and algunas, and they can both mean some.
Right. So how do we know when to use which one?
Yeah, it's a subtle distinction, but
Yeah.
I think unos and unas is more for, like you said, an unspecified amount. Like, we don't know how many police officers there are.
Right.
Whereas algunos and algunas often implies a more limited or specific quantity.
Okay, makes sense. So context is key. All right, how about this one? Estuvimos 2 horas esperando por la comida. We waited 2 hours for the food. Ese restaurante solo tiene camarero. That restaurant only has waiter.
Okay, what's the missing article?
It's un.
Un. Okay,
Yeah.
because there's only one waiter, and camarero is masculine and singular.
Exactly. So un fits perfectly.
Right. We really have to think about the meaning of the sentence, not just the noun in isolation.
Totally. All right, and one more quick example. I ciudad no muy lejos de aquí. There's city not far from here. Again, it's una.
Una.
Because ciudad is singular and feminine.
Makes sense. It's like solving a puzzle, finding the right article to match the gender and number of the noun.
It is. And sometimes Jaime likes to throw in these little curveball, like remember those contractions like al, which combines an ella?
Oh, yeah. Those can be tricky.
Yeah.
It's like you have to recognize these merged words.
Right. So, for example, estamos yendo a merendar lago desde hace días. We've been going to have a snack by the lake for days. The correct answer is al lago.
Al lago. Okay.
Yeah.
That's a good example because it sounds so much more natural than saying al lago.
Right.
It's just one of the many things that make Spanish flow so nicely.
Okay, so you ready for some more challenging examples?
Yeah, hit me.
Okay. Manzanas valen €1 el kilo. Apples cost €1 per kilo.
That's a tough one. I think it'd be las manzanas.
Apples.
Apples in general.
You got it.
Not a specific group of apples.
It's like we're talking about the concept of apples.
Right.
Okay, and here's one that tripped me up a little bit. Cuadro del pintor es una obra de arte. Painting by the painter is a work of art.
Okay, so I think this is where those contractions come in again. So I'm going to say el cuadro del pintor.
El cuadro del pintorio, right?
The painter's painting.
Yeah.
It's easy to overlook those details.
It is.
Especially when you're trying to understand the whole sentence.
Right. So we've seen how indefinite articles introduce new information. And definite articles refer to something specific, or even like a whole concept like apples. But there's one more important use of the definite article that Jaime talks about. Are you ready to explore that?
Yeah, let's dive in.
Okay. Futbolista entrena todos los días. Footballers trains every day.
Okay, so here I think we would say el futbolista.
El futbolista, exactly.
The footballer, not a specific person, just any footballer.
Right.
It's like a category or a profession.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
It is. I never thought of it like that before.
Yeah, these little words can pack a lot of meaning.
Okay, so before we wrap up this deep dive, Jaime has one last set of exercises that really puts everything we've learned to the test. Are you up for the challenge?
Absolutely. Let's see what he's got.
All right, ready for the final round? Jaime, a las 7 de la mañana. The sun rises at around 7 in the morning.
Okay, 2 blanks to fill. Let's see. So for sol, it's el sol because it's masculine and singular. And we're talking about the sun, the one and only. And then for mañana, I think it'd be la mañana because we're talking about morning in a general sense.
You got it. El sol sale a las 7 de la mañana. It's like those articles are giving us little hints along the way.
They are. It's like a treasure hunt.
Okay, next one. Cada nuevo día es oportunidad para progresar. Every new day is opportunity to progress.
I think that one's una oportunidad.
Una oportunidad, yeah.
An opportunity.
Because it could be any opportunities.
Right.
It's not specific.
Not a specific one.
Okay. I'm really starting to see how this all works.
Me too, which just takes practice.
Okay, how about this one? Vecinos de mi barrio son muy amables. Neighbors in my neighborhood are very friendly.
Okay, so this reminds me of that footballer example. We're talking about neighbors in general. So I think it would be los vecinos.
Los vecinos, you're right.
The neighbors.
So even though it's plural, we still use the definite article.
Right, because we're talking about a specific group of neighbors, the ones in the speaker's neighborhood.
Okay, so we really have to pay attention to the whole context.
We do.
All right, next one. Hermanas de mi padre son simpáticas. Sisters of my father are nice.
Okay, so again, we have a specific group. The speaker's aunts, so it would be las hermanas de mi padre.
Las hermanas de mi padre, you're on a roll.
My father's sisters.
Okay, last one. Tengo unos 20 kilos de naranjas. I have about 20 kilos of oranges.
Ooh, that's tricky. Because unos is already in the sentence.
Right.
But it's not acting as an indefinite article there.
Oh.
It's more like an approximation.
Okay.
Like around or about. So we don't need any other article.
Wow. You outsmarted Jaime.
Huh. I guess we're both ready to teach Spanish now.
I think so. But in all seriousness, I feel like we both leveled up our Spanish article game today.
Yeah, me too.
Hopefully you have too, dear listener. We've unpacked so much about definite and indefinite articles, and I feel way more confident about using them correctly.
Yeah, it's not just about memorizing rules. It's about understanding how the language works.
Exactly, and I think that's what makes language learning so much fun.
It is. It's like you're constantly discovering new things.
So, before we wrap up this deep dive, we want to leave you with a thought-provoking question. If you were creating a Spanish lesson on articles, what real-life scenarios would you use?
Oh, that's a good one.
How would you make these concepts come alive for your students?
Yeah, get them thinking.
Exactly. Maybe you'll even inspire someone else to start learning Spanish.
You never know.
Well, that's it for today. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into Spanish articles. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep those brains buzzing.